Okay, good morning, guys. We are continuing now with our background information. We are up to point number 9. By this point, you should have completed 2 Google Forms for the background. Okay, this is really our final background point. So here we go. Going into our Gemara, it's important to know about the following case and the following halacha, the following rule. Let's say a person is having a meal, okay, at a bit of a strange time, but it's Friday afternoon. Okay, Friday, they're having a big meal. Why? Maybe there's a bris that they're celebrating on that day, on Friday. Okay, let's assume that. So let's say they're celebrating a bris, and for whatever the reason, they have to have the meal later on in the day, and they're in the middle of their meal, they're eating and eating, and all of a sudden, they realize it's getting very close to Shabbos, and before they know it, Shabbos arrives. Okay, so here's the case. If you are eating a meal on Friday afternoon, okay, like we said, maybe for a bris or something, and Shabbos starts. So what should you do? Okay, now we're going to leave aside davening. Okay, let's assume you're going to maybe take care of davening, whatever. Leave that aside for a second. But in terms of the meal, in terms of kiddush, in terms of benching, what do you have to do now? You're in the middle of a meal and Shabbos starts. So there's a debate about what to do, but we're going to go with one particular view. Okay, so it says in Hebraita, this is what you should do. First of all, stop the meal. Okay, you're having a meal that's a weekday meal, and so you have to stop it. But if you if you stop the meal, what do you have to do right away? You're going to have to bench. Okay, but remember, in those days, they always benched with a cup of wine. So therefore, you're going to fill up a cup of wine. You're going to bench, okay, holding a cup of wine. And then when you finish benching, you say the bracha bar piragafen, you drink the wine. Bar piragafen, drink the wine. Okay, and that way you finish up the weekday meal. You finish up the meal you were having on Friday late afternoon. Okay, so again, stop the meal and basically bench. And the way you bench is you fill up a cup of wine, you say benching, say bar piragafen, and drink the wine. Okay, but we're not done yet because we still need a Shabbos meal. Okay, so what are you going to do next? You're going to refill the cup. Okay, we need another cup of wine. Why? For Kiddush. Okay, so the way it's going to work is you refill the cup, you say bar piragafen. Okay, you say Kiddush, right? Because we know that on as part of Kiddush, we know bar piragafen comes first, and then you say the bracha of Kiddush, right? The bracha of Kiddush. So number 8, Kiddush here means the bracha of Kiddush, right? So again, you refill the cup, you say Yom HaShishirada, and then Baruch Adonai Borei Pri Hagafen, and then you say the bracha of Kiddush. Baruch Adonai Asher Kiddush B'Shabbat Kadsha B'Yavav Ratzon, right? Kiddush, and then obviously when you finish Kiddush, what are you going to do? You're going to drink the wine. And once you do that, then you're going to go and wash and start your Shabbos meal. Okay, so these are the 9 steps. All right, it seems more complicated really than it is. All right, basically what you're doing is you're benching to end your weekday meal, and you're saying Kiddush to start your Shabbos meal. All right, so I just go through it step by step. Now take a look at what's about to happen over here. Okay, well, first of all, you fill up, the cup of wine is over there. All right, and then the second cup of wine is for Kiddush. The first cup of wine is for benching. Okay, and the second cup of wine is for Kiddush. Now let's see if you could explain why I did this. Okay, why do I have a box around this and a box around that? All right, what does the purple box represent? What does the orange box represent? So basically, the purple box, maybe you figured it out, represents benching. Okay, right? All that is part of Birkat Hamazon, and that's to end the first meal. And the orange box, of course, represents Kiddush. Okay, and that's to begin the next meal. So that's really all we need to know. Okay, that if you're in the middle of a meal on Friday afternoon and Shabbos starts, this is what you do. You're first going to bench with a cup of wine, then you're going to refill a cup of wine and say Kiddush. Okay, that's all we need to know. Okay, we're stopping here.